just coming down off the hill into an open field area. Made a sweep forward on the field, engaged the Yankees. Men started falling from 200 yards away. Captain Bert Huffman called for a flanking movement. Couldn't hold them back, just too many of them. We lost. We were defeated.
It was May 26th of 1990 in Felton, California. The battle was a reenactment staged by the National Civil War Association for Memorial Day weekend. As he usually does, Jim Mitchell was serving in the Confederate Army that day.
We were just finishing a battle. Recall had been called. All the people that had been killed or wounded in the battle returned to life and rejoined their battalions.
What do you think?
Oh, great.
Sergeant Jim North and I met at the edge of the battlefield and commented on how well the battle had gone. Been a good show, good fight.
Good show.
We turned and started walking over toward our commander, Captain Bert Huffman.
It was a good battle.
Great, yeah.
Well, I'm glad we
Good
get out
show.
these wolves, man. It's been a long day. Look at Bert's down.
Bert's down.
I know he has.
He was gasping for breath. Knowing he'd had heart attacks previously, I immediately feared for the worst. So I tilted his head back to try to help him breathe.
Before the battle started, he had mentioned that if anything happened to him out there and he went down, to get his nitroglycerin pills from his pocket.
Nitro, Jim. His nitro.
Ready?
Get
All right.
his nitro.
Go on, get it in, get it in. Good. Got it? All right.
Yeah.
There was no heartbeat I could feel. He had stopped breathing at that point, so I immediately initiated CPR.
Come on, medic! Bert! You guys can make it.
Bert's my best buddy, and we've gone through a lot together. And I just kept shaking my head. I said, "He can't die. He just can't die."
Come on.
I'm a nurse.
Two medics showed up with a trauma kit, had an ambu bag, and began breathing for Bert while I continued compressions.
Back it up!
It was difficult because Bert's a very large, barrel-chested man, and you have a lot of bone and muscle you have to compress before you'll actually compress the heart.
Are you getting any air through there at all?
He seemed to be having a great deal of trouble attempting to ventilate.
They kept blowing, but it wasn't getting into his lungs. He started turning color.
They don't make him like Bert. He's everybody's friend. He's everybody's confidant. He's everybody's teacher. They just don't come any better.
Come on, Bert.
You're just thinking to yourself, God, let it work this time.
Come on, Bert.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? Is there a doctor in the audience? Ladies and gentlemen, is there a doctor in the audience?
Bert's wife of 17 years, Dale, was also working in the reenactment that day.
One of Bert's friends ran up and grabbed me and said that he was down. I knew that Bert's heart was unstable. He's had previous heart attacks and he's had 2 bypass operations. But when I saw Bert, my heart just really sunk. I had seen him in real bad shape before, but I had not seen him this bad.
Dale had sent word to family friend Susan Jones, a registered nurse.
To get to Bert, I had to run against the crowd. At first, it seemed impossible. But knowing that Bert was on the other end, it was amazing how easy it was to get through.
That's a poor reposition. Okay, great. You take that. All right. 1, 2, okay. Flow. 4, 5. How are we doing now?
With the CPR we were doing, his color should have been coming back, and it wasn't.
Whoa, we gotta keep back together.
I've been a firefighter for 17 years, and what's always been so hard for me is you just don't know what's going on inside that chest. If an aorta has ruptured, nothing's going to bring him back.
What?
You're doing your best, and it's not working, and this person's dying, and you're doing all you know how to do.
Whoa, we gotta keep back together. Come on, Bert. Whoa.
When we continue,
What was going through my mind was, this could be the end.
Okay, right now, sir, we have
I can't imagine what it'd be like not having Bert around.
supposed to be on the way.
49-year-old Bert Huffman had suffered a massive heart attack during the reenactment of a Civil War battle. Friends and rescue workers who happened to be on the scene administered CPR while waiting for an ambulance to arrive from more than 10 miles away.
Come on.
Let him in.
Anesthesiologist David Arakaki was in the parking lot getting ready to leave when he heard the call for a doctor.
Okay, let me in.
All right, I'll let you in. Okay, here we go. All right.
His color's not good. Check the airway again. The soft tissue and tongue was obstructing the larynx despite all kinds of neck, jaw, head maneuvers.
I want a defibrillator.
He needed advanced life support equipment.
Right now, sir, we have none of that. All we have is what you got. Paramedics are supposed to be on the way.
It seemed like it was forever waiting for the ambulance to get there.
And I thought, this is it. They can't keep him going this long. Jim was getting pretty well worn out, but he didn't stop. They had to keep Bert alive until the ambulance showed up.
Within 12 minutes of Bert's collapse, a medic unit with the Felton Volunteer Fire Department arrived, led by Captain Dave Newell.
What we got is a possible man down, possible heart attack.
As we came in through the access road in the Roaring Camp, our initial problem was, where is he? Because there's 500, 600, 700 people there, and somewhere out there was supposedly a man down. And to my surprise, we were met by two gentlemen on horseback that were dressed in Civil War garb. They basically said, follow us. And for about the last 250, 300 yards, we were led basically in full gallop into the scene of the Civil War.
Excuse me, fire department, coming through, please. Excuse me. Okay, guys, what you got?
Cardiac arrest.
When we first saw him, he had no pulse, he had no respirations. Basically, he was clinically dead.
I'll take over compressions. Do we have a relative here, please? Right here.
I turned to his wife, who was standing right there. She was telling me, you have to zap him, you have to zap him.
Heart won't restart without paddles.
It was very disheartening to me to turn to her and say, I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't have the paddles. We're a volunteer department, and we couldn't afford them.
We're going to do everything we can.
That was a hard pill to swallow.
Paramedics are coming, and they have the paddles.
They needed advanced life support equipment, but that ambulance was still miles away.
Color's still bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I could tell by the people working on him that he was getting in more and more serious condition.
Color's still bad.
1, 2.
What was going through my mind was, this could be the end. After being married and being together for so long, I think the thing that I would miss the most would be his sense of humor and his orneriness.
Airway's still
I can't imagine what it'd be like not having Bert around.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3.
By the time the advanced life support unit arrived, Bert had been without a heartbeat for more than 20 minutes.
When we finally got to the patient, we hooked him up to the cardiac monitor.
1, 2,
Okay, let's
3,
stop CPR,
4.
please. We have a VFib on the monitor. Continue CPR, please, while it's
1,
charging.
2, 3, 4,
Paddles are
5.
charged. Clear.
I remember them shocking him because I remember him jumping from the ground. And then he didn't
We're
move.
still in a VFib. Go ahead and continue CPR.
I kept thinking to myself, this is a dream. I'm going to wake up. It's all going to be a
Clear,
nightmare.
please. Everybody clear? Clear.
They hit him again, and he didn't move again. And then I started thinking, he's dead. He's dead.
Let's get him in here
Okay, scoot over this
We
side.
defibrillated him twice with really no effect, but he did have some electrical activity.
Okay, let's open the IV wide open, please.
Paramedics then attempted to put an airway in and found it very difficult.
Let me try. Come in, your nurse. We need the nurse.
Finally, Dr. Arakaki got down and worked on him.
Cricoid pressure. Come on, Bert. Okay. It's in. It's in. Okay, oxygen.
We were able to establish and maintain a good airway, finally.
Bag. Color's better. Okay, sounds good. You're in.
3 or 4 minutes after we gave some medications, we started getting pulses. At that point, we knew that we needed to get the patient en route to the medical facility.
They had managed to regain a weak pulse, but were unsure how long they could keep it going.
Everybody was just really stunned. We thought he was dead.
Well, they had some.
And as the ambulance drove away from the scene, uniformed people on both sides saluted.
There was no more civil war, no more battle, and there were no longer blue and gray.
And I just remember standing off thinking, God, not Bert. Not Bert.
How's this compliance? It's going. It's tight, but we're getting flow.
Once I got him in the ambulance, I was really listening to the monitor in the back.
Okay, stand by. Defibrillate. Go ahead and hyperventilate.
And it sounded like they had lost him.
Okay, they're charged. Clear. Clear.
And that was just sheer panic for me at that point in time. It was like, why can't we be at this hospital already? How far is it? Why can't they move faster?
For the third time, Bert's heart was shocked into beating again. But the oxygen supply to his brain had been disrupted for so long, there was little hope he'd survive without severe brain damage. Dr. Raj Singh was the cardiologist on call at the Dominican hospital that day.
Our last blood pressure was 110 palpated.
At the point he arrived in the emergency room, he had a good blood pressure and a reasonable pulse rate, but he was completely comatose. I told Mrs. Huffman there was a strong possibility that if her husband survived this hospitalization, that he may never walk or talk again.
I'll be right outside the room here. If you need anything, let me know.
Okay, thank you. Susan and I went with Bert to the ICU unit. Bert, it's Dale. Bert, Dale and Susan are with you. Can you hear us? You're gonna make it, honey. We were talking to him and telling him he was in the hospital and that he was gonna make it. At the same time, I realized that he may not make it. But I knew it was real important that we keep talking to him at that point in time.
And try something here.
Finally,
Bert,
Susan said to him, Bert, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand. He did squeeze her hand.
That's a good sign.
And then she said, Dale's on the other side. If you can hear her, squeeze her hand. Bert, it's Dale. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, honey? Squeeze my hand. He could hear us and move. And I thought, he's going to make it. I know he's going to make it.
To the surprise of almost everyone, Bert Hoffman has fully recovered. 1 year later, he's made changes in his lifestyle and continues to take medication, but he's survived the toughest battle of his life.
I remember nothing about the time I dropped until about 6-7 days later when I was in the hospital and woke up. I'm lucky to be alive from what they've told me. So she's finally getting married, huh?
The happiest moment in all this was just being able to see him come home and get back into normal family life.
Better have a talk with Dave.
But at the same time, we have to realize that the day may come he may not make it. And that's very real in all of our lives.
Me and my wife have become closer together because we both live one day at a time, 1 minute at a time. Because you never know when it's going to hit.
Today, Bert's still involved in the Civil War Association. He's now on a cannon where he doesn't have to walk around or anything. And he still walks away with the biggest grin on his face every time he gets through.
How you doing, Patty? Brad?
It just makes me really happy to see him out there. It really does.
How are you?
Hi.
When I see Bert walking around today, it always amazes me. I think, boy, buddy, you came so close. He is the exception and not the rule with heart attack cases, especially being down for as long as he was. CPR saved his life, and all those people helping out that day
Hey, Jim, how'd it go?
helped keep him alive.
Same old what's happening.
Hey, remember the last time you used that knife? You used it on him.
And there he is, standing there talking and laughing, you think, what a hole there'd be if he hadn't survived.
That's a pretty good friend, huh? Go keep an eye on fire.
Being a firefighter, the greatest thing in my profession is to save a life. And the greatest life to save is to save the life of a friend.
Well, buddy, it's nice to have you back.
Oh, brother, you guys kill me sometimes.